Hey guys, Matt's here, and today I'm not doing a try not to laugh, I'm not doing a blend video, I'm not doing anything outdoors or anything with Reddit. Although I have a big project coming up on Reddit starting at the start of July, and it's gonna be an eight month long project. Uh, where basically with that, what I'm doing is I'm going through all the different tiers of revenge that Reddit has. And I'm gonna try and be doing an episode every day of the month for one tier. And considering that I'm starting it off in July, that's 31 episodes straight up. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Uh, Today, well, first I want to start off by saying I don't have an interesting life at all. I've had nothing interesting happen. I've I'm just like, yeah, boring as they come. But in the over the last uh, couple of years, I would say like 4 or 5 years, I have had some pretty interesting ideas for projects that just come into my mind because I'm really good with ideas, but execution I cannot do. So I'm literally this video is literally just me documenting all the different ideas I've had ever since like maybe like 4 years ago, so 2017. Because yeah, it was about 2017, 2016 that I really started to get into. My mind started getting more into what can I possibly do. Uh, uh, I've had I've had plenty of projects and ideas along the way, but I'm gonna be trying to do ones that I feel like are the most important to me, in a sense, and which doesn't include the shovel that I painted for $200. I'm still gonna be using that at some point, if not for zombies, something. But I'm gonna start off with the first ever idea I ever had, which is like, in terms of the ideas I have now, is actually pretty small. Actually, no, it's still pretty big. I am a person of big ideas. Like so my first ever idea back in like year 11 English, I think it was what was it? What was it? It was like a book. I had an idea for a book series that is based on my life, but the main character is a female. You can sort of already tell where my mind was at that point. Sort of, it's still where it is today. Not that many people have figured out from the video called Video 99, even though it's actually Video 100, and have even made another video talking about that whole fact on my main channel. So yeah, uh, I don't want to go too far into the ideas. It was basically my high school life if I was a female. Which sounds weird when I say it, but to be honest, probably tame compared to other ideas that I've had, ones I've managed to execute and ones I haven't. Going back to that video 99 that I mentioned on the main channel, that whole video was literally my life story in a nutshell, or my current life story in a nutshell, and what's going up in the old noggin here. And no one took it seriously. Just no one wanted to take a stupid video seriously. It's like, the dumber the video, the less serious it is, isn't it? I don't want this video to turn into a rant about a project that I did ages ago, and is finally having an idea to bring it back with. Perfect segue to what I'm currently working on, which is a massive Minecraft project where it's actually pretty much all improvised dialogue. Like, it is literally just characters in a story, go. There's no, like, rules except, like, maybe, like, PvP is off. So, would be off, so, because it's like, But the characters that I have in it are actually all the characters that I've made in my mind back in video 99. And as reference for the characters, there were Ava, Xavier, Aurora, and Jasmine. Those were the 4. Plus also another 2, which is my actual self, me as a person, and my YouTube personality, like the one talking to you right now. And like, I'm still dedicated to this project, because right now on the main channel I have the backstory for Aurora. Yeah, I technically already have the backstory for Aurora through the game Celeste. I've also got the backstory going for Jasmine through Monster Hunter, and the backstory for Ava in Undertale. The only character I still have left is Xavier, but I'm waiting on a mechanical hand to arrive. Like, hopefully I got the right hand, right size. It'll be annoying if it's the wrong size, because it's hard to judge the sizes using the thing given. So it'd be more on me than anything else if it's the wrong size. Food. But yeah, like, even in that, like, those backstories are what build the characters to what they're going to be in the Minecraft stuff. And even on this channel, I have a video that's called War is Coming, where it's the character Jack, which is me being myself while playing a character. Actually, no, it's me being my YouTube personality playing a character that happens to be myself. You see how it gets weird. And even, like, in the Minecraft project, I have plans for, like, multiple stages, like MCU basically, but improvised. Not MCU, because MCU is more like a lot of fighting. I don't know why I'm even dragging the MCU into this. I'm trying to think of a character series, like a series where the creator is a main character, and the only thing I can think of is FNAF. And I don't want to be dragging FNAF into this video. But yeah, like I have multiple stages in mind for the storylines. Even the like when two characters get mind swapped, and I'm not even playing myself in it either. I'm playing a female. I'm playing one of the female characters. Uh, that's probably my most ambitious work that I'm currently working on. Uh, I'm still trying to get characters done and stuff like that. But let's move on from that. And sort of move towards RWBY, because RWBY is an animation series that I do a lot of stuff with. I've done a lot of projects with it. I've done a whole bunch of really hard quizzes. I I would consider myself a person that's just like, I get down to the nitty gritty on the quizzes somehow. Like I'm I I pulled a dead meat and counted the grim deaths, but only for the main 8 characters. Why did I do that to myself? I do not know. I've also just done a fun idea where I was just doing pixel art for fun, and one person just tried to be like, yeah, I can do this too. I'm like, I'm doing it for free, posting it on Amino. Link in the description to that. And I'm not expecting to be paid for it or anything like that. Like, I've even had people tell me, hey, do this character. I'd be like, I got you, fam. And did the character. Like, that was just a fun project that I did for like a few months. I've also sort of turned cinema sins on RWBY and was doing my own sin lists of the RWBY series. I would love to see if someone was able to sin Your Line April. Mostly because it is my favorite series and I love to punish the stuff that I love the most. Oh, I am sorry. I am not. I've literally just eaten like half-hour ago. Other projects that I've tried to do with RWBY. I've tried to do a writing series with RWBY where it's basically just RWBY, but alternate universe, and the audience decides if it follows the original story that the Rooster Teeth team made, or branches off into its own path, but it always curves back around to the main beats of the original story. Like, that one really didn't even take off, like, yeah. And it was called Sapphire. Basically, what it was I was doing a blue version of RWBY. Because there's RWBY, and then, like, a blue version of it would be Sapphire. So, like, I was trying to pick gender-neutral names, except for RWBY's name, which was Sapphire. So, I was basically, because, like, Ruby's name is Ruby and her team name is Ruby. So I figured I'd keep that theme of Sapphire and the team name is Sapphire. And the names that I came up with, well, after looking up gender neutral names, because I wanted to do gender neutral names because then I could have like two versions of like a male version, female version, and stuff like that. It'd be fun. I figured that'd be fun to do. So like, its place of Weiss, it was Phoenix, which is funny because literally the exact opposite of what Weiss is as a character from Ruby, because Weiss is all about snow and ice, and Phoenix has to do with fire. Uh, and then Blake named Harley, which apparently is a gender neutral name. Like, yeah, I know there's Harley Quinn, but I never really. Oh, Harley Davidson, I guess, then. Yeah, that makes sense. And then for Yang, I found the name Ray, so I could keep the sort of theme of sun in, or like, sort of keep the theme, yeah, keep the theme of sun in Yang and Yang's alternative universe character. And the last project I had that related to Ruby in some way is probably one of the most ambitious things that I've ever thought of, but just haven't been able to follow through on because I suck at writing. And that is the Ruby anime crossover, where it's not just one anime, it's not two, it's 5, maybe even 6. Yeah, I don't know just when to quit apparently, because like, and all the animes that I chose sort of have a death game or some element of death in them, except for one of them. So like, the story would start out with Future Diary, like a Future Diary crossover, where it's actually, in my version of events, the main character from Mirai Nikki, after spoilers by the way, after winning the death game of Mirai Nikki, creates the world of Ruby and the two gods to, as a way of him hiding in the shadows and past, and just being like that, like these two beings are the ones responsible, and they're out of view. Like, he's staying out of view of the real world, but the people playing the game knows he's the one that did all the work. And then it's basically Future Diary, but with Ruby characters, including one of my favorite characters, Blake, who I do kill off in the story. But I use my crossover as a way of filling a plot hole in the original Ruby. And also ruin like a lot of the storyline of Ruby as well. Especially with Tyrion. Because Tyrion is one of them, and also another character, Saffron, is one of them. Oh boy. I don't hold back with my idea. I don't want to say what my idea is, just because it is so dark that it's actually, you have to read it to understand. If I am ever able to find a writer to help me with such a project. But yeah, in the like, I will say that one of the Saffron is one of the characters killed early on in the game, along with others, but it's not revealed for 10 chapters after her death. So yeah, that is just mean of me to do, really. Like, given the recent volumes of 7 and 8, it does mess up my ideas, and I'm like, there's this one character that I just want to be dead, but she's alive in the main story of Ruby, so now I have to write into my own crossover story to have it make sense, because I have a problem where I have to follow the main story of Ruby. So I'm just hoping that, like, there are certain characters that I just hope don't show up in volume 9 of Ruby, because then I could be like, I can write the characters as dead, and then they'll show up in the later volume, like that one character, and I just like, what am I supposed to do with that? I'm trying to think. Okay, that's a lot of projects in Ruby in of itself. Let's move away from Ruby. And so I will say, the Anime versus Reality podcast series that I have, very ambitious. Well, not really ambitious. It's more like, I'm showing you guys what animes I have watched, and then I would. The plan was I was going to do, like, you guys' favorites, like just literally be like, "What's your favorite anime?" Put it in the comments. If we already discussed it, what's your second favorite then? And then I'll be like, okay, let's compile a whole list of animes and talk about those. But my partner Bailey, he is very keen on me watching the ones that he has watched. I'm like, I just hearing the ones that he's watched, I'm like, oh no, this is not gonna be tame. I also, with the anime versus reality, I do want to try and do some games on there, but I'm just, games is just hard idea to come up with. Like, I have a few ideas for games. I won't tell them now. I'll save them for the podcast. But at the end of all the animes that I have watched, like after we've covered all of them, I wanted to do a ranking of the animes and then the ranking of the OPs. So it's like, which anime is the best, which anime is the worst, and then the OPs, which one's really good and which one's just like really bad. I'm trying to think what else. I have also done another podcast called Ruby versus Reality, where it was about, what was it? It was, yeah, well, it was about Ruby, but I was analyzing every single semblance of Ruby with the purest of science. I was looking at it in a pure scientific and way, sort of similar to game theory, in a sense. And even early on my channel, I did theories, but I did Ruby versus reality as a way of looking back on those theories and being like, did I do stuff wrong? Did I do stuff right? Stuff like that. And mainly just talk about the characters, because like the characters are really, at times they're dumb, at times they're smart, but overall they're average. I think that might be every idea I have ever done, actually. Or like the ones that are noteworthy in the space of half an hour. But yeah, there's not much else I can really talk about. Like, there is the whole blending series, which started from a packet of Bean Boozled jelly beans and been like, I wonder what would happen if I took the whole packet and blended them. Which was weird when I did that, because that was just a dumb idea that I had. Like, I honestly wasn't really thinking that would go any further than just like 1 or 2 videos. But I kept coming up with ideas of foods to blend. Also, the person that lent me the blender, after they heard what I did with the blender, was just like, keep it. Yeah, it's not like it was thoroughly cleaned after that first blend video. Nah, it totally was not. It was. I'm just saying it for the memes. Anyways, oh, I forgot one. This was not that far ago. It was back in high school. Like I think maybe when I was in year 12. I had an idea for a maze game, but it wasn't a simple maze game. No, sorry, it was sort of like maze parkour ability game. Again, just me thinking too ambitious, as I always do. like back in back in high school, I used to, like, during math, I was just doing I was figuring out the equation for getting from one square number to the next for using differentials, which is just weird. Like, I don't know why I was doing that. It was just for fun. But yeah, that's really it. That was most of my. That's most of my noteworthy ideas that I have ever done in the last 5 years. It is funny how I've been doing videos for almost half a decade at this point, and it's just hard to get the numbers. Because I'm not doing the popular games, and you have to be playing the popular games just to be noticed. Like, hey, you're not playing Among Us? We'll go and watch this channel that plays Among Us. Oh, you're not playing Fortnite? Oh, I'm gonna go and watch this channel then. I did do Fortnite videos. I was crap at the game. I don't want to keep playing something that I'm absolutely terrible at and not going to enjoy, because I will rage at it. I have raged at simpler games. I think the hardest game I've ever played was well, actually, right now it's Undertale. Even if I'm not the one playing it, it still is probably the hardest game I've done, considering I'm doing the genocide run first. The character of Ava is doing the genocide run first. So yeah, good luck to her. Anyways, with that, I'm gonna end the episode here. Links will be in the description to both my main channel and this channel, along with everything else that I use, and hopefully I'm gonna be building a third channel, maybe even a fourth, because I also had the idea of Beat Saber channel, because Beat Saber is a popular thing, but like I don't want the popular stuff on the main channel for some reason, because I apparently hate myself. Also, I need a logo for this channel. I need to come up with a logo for this channel. So if you guys can think of anything that fits this channel in a good sense, let me know in the comments below. I will look through them and decide on what I like the best. If I don't really like any of them, I do have something. I'll just use the thing that I use for my amino. Because it sort of makes sense with my character. Or my personality here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video comes out. A ding, a ding. I'm Mad Scientist. Mad Scientist, out.